Hello, and a very warm welcome back to the Wildlife Photography series. This is episode 4, and in today's episode, we take an adventure to Rathlin Island for the sole purposes of photographing puffins. I've never been to Rathlin before, but it was always a trip that I wanted to make, and especially at the time of year whenever the puffin season was in peak, because I wanted to photograph these very interesting birds. The trip started with a short ferry ride over to the island. There's two types of ferries to get across: the normal regular ferry, which can facilitate cars and the likes, and then the other faster catamaran style ferry. Once on the island, it was a short bus journey up to the RSPB Wildlife Sanctuary, and to say that this place was loud and filled with birds would be an understatement. At first you saw hundreds upon thousands of guillemots occupying the crags and rock faces that overlooked the ocean. And as you descended a couple of flights of steps down to the viewing platforms, I got to see some guillemots floating about in the water, flying about, as well as some seagulls as well. But the main reason why we were here was to spot and find some puffins. After looking for a period of time, my eyes were graced with the little distinctive orange feet and orange beaks, and I got to watch puffins do their thing. Whilst on the island and down at these hides or viewing platforms, so to speak, you will be facilitated with binoculars, and staff are always there on hand to help you out, point out where they found the puffins. To say the puffins were outnumbered by guillemots was an understatement, so finding them was like finding little gems scattered over the cliff face. Spent a good deal of time here just watching the puffins interact with their surroundings, flap their wings, fly about, and the more you look, the more you sing. I'm glad I brought my 2x extender because that enabled me to get that wee bit closer to the puffins. I don't know what I was expecting initially. I thought being able to see the puffins would be within a couple of feet, but clearly they were a lot farther away, and probably for good reason. Of course, whilst there, I put my photography skills to use, and although the images are hindered by using a 2x extender and the distance at which the puffins were away, I was glad I got the opportunity to photograph these amazing, wonderful birds and capture some light-hearted images. As well as that, I was able to photograph some of the guillemots in the water and flying about, as well as on their perches, and a couple of seagulls posing with their jaws and mouths wide open. However, one of the images that I favoured the most was this shot of a gannet. It just happened to be flying by, my autofocus was working to the best of its ability, and it was just a fantastic opportunity to capture this bird in flight. After finishing up, I took the bus back down, and be warned, the bus rotates on sort of a 2-hour basis, and it gets packed fairly quickly, so walking up to the island is possible, but remember, you're there for a limited time, so that will take up a good majority of your time, and it's quite a steep incline as well. On the way back, we jumped off the bus down at the harbour area, as there was some seals in the harbour area floating about and just doing what seals do best. Whilst there, we also got to capture some oyster catchers, and as well there was a group, a bird watching group from Nature Trek there, with an average age of customers being roughly probably about their 60s or so. But what I found really nice was the tour guide actually incorporated us whenever they seen us taking photographs of the area. They pointed out some dunlins in full summer plumage, and it was quite nice to interact with the group as well. They didn't need to do that, but they included us in the bird watching area. They did pick out a grey wagtail in the area as well. However, I was not quick enough to view where this was or be able to pick it out. But for the dunlins and the rock pipits, the tour guide, whose name has slipped me, although I've tried to find it on the website there, was an absolute gentleman, being able to include us in the little bit of photography that we did there, spotting the rock pipits and the dunlins. There was rumours of a corncrake being about Rathlin at this time as well, however, unfortunately I did not get viewing or hearing it either. And again, some fantastic images of oyster catchers, some seals just in their natural banana-shaped harbour area, some of the rock pipits and dunlins there, were just another fantastic opportunity to photograph some of the wildlife that Rathlin had to offer. Whilst walking about a wee bit as well, I got to photograph some barn swallows that had taken up residency in an old barn, and finally nailed my impossible shot of catching one in flight. And another fantastic element was finding this Greylag goose swooping into this lock area and coming in for a fantastic landing. Unfortunately, I didn't get any videos of that, but I did capture some amazing photos of his descent and land. But after that, it was a full day spent in Rathlin, a full good 4 to 5 hours, and we made our way back to the harbour area to catch the last ferry home. Needless to say, this adventure to Rathlin was fantastic. It really put Rathlin up in my estimations, being the first time I visited. I got to see the Puffins, which was the main reason why I went, but along the way I got to learn some interesting facts, meet some interesting people, and capture some fantastic images, and that is what this series is all about. So again, thank you very much for watching. If you've checked out the previous episodes, or even if you haven't, please do give them a follow and a like and share this video as well, and I will catch you in the next one.